Alright, today we're going to be throwing together some bomb-proof aluminum wheels. These are 27.5 inch EX471s from DT SWISS. They're laced to DT SWISS 240 hubs, so really reliable bomb-proof package right here. So that'll be a good place to start. And then for rubber, we're using the Maxxis Shorty. This is in 2.5 inch width, downhill casing, max grip compound. So these are super grippy and really sturdy tires with that dual 60 TPI casing. These feel like little dirt bike tires, especially with the cut spike design. In comparison, here's a Minion DHF. It's just totally different feeling tire, and this should be really confidence inspiring. So let's get this wheel build taken care of. One trick that can be hugely beneficial when you're working on tires with a really stiff casing is getting some soapy water and just lubricating the bead a little bit, because otherwise the rubber can bind on the bead of the rim and really get stuck. So this is a little trick that makes it much easier when you're putting on stubborn tires like these. And once you do that, all you got to do is work your bead up across the rim and into the well of the tire, and you're pretty much good to go. Tire lever can of course come in handy. These aren't going to pop on by hand usually, just because of their super stiff casing, but there we go. We got one side on, not too bad. Let's get that second side a little bit lubricated. Before we're committed, let's just make sure we got the tire perfect, decals lined up. We're going to be using the sand sealant today. This is really my favorite, although everyone has their own personal favorites, and I've not tried too many others. So one trick with this is when you're putting it in, you can kind of just judge it based off spoke holes. So I like a fair bit of sealant, so I'll put mine to, I don't know if you can tell, but it kind of, the sealant makes a puddle that kind of goes from this spoke to this spoke. So 1, 2, 3, 4 spokes in width. That's generally right around the correct amount of sealant. So we can start working this bead on. I guess we can start at the bottom since the sealant's down there. One key thing is you got to make sure that the bead is all the way down in the well of the rim, because otherwise the tire is so stiff that there's no way you're going to be able to pull it in. And I guess that's the correct way to do it. Pretty much any tire, so nothing too crazy here. Noob move right there. And we are in. I'm going to knock this valve core out real quick. Probably don't have to do this, I just don't have an air chuck. was so sure not to get any on the tire when I was actually putting sealant in. Guess that doesn't do you any good these days. Let's pump this bad boy up to 40. Get her. Make sure both feeds are seated. Alright, I guess we're at 40, so hopefully Alright, let's get some of that sealant off. Part 2 of why having a little soapy rag, or in this case, a piece of paper towel, can be handy. Nice. So here's what we've got. Here's the final result of the tire being seated. Let's put some brake rotors on there.